For the disclaimer. Hello everyone, and for this video, we'll be reviewing the Hasbro Beyblade X Sword Drawn. So before we continue with this video, subscribe and comment your thoughts. We will try to shoot past 100 comments for this video. Can we do it to celebrate the new generation of Hasbro Beyblade X? Actually, maybe 200 comments, huh? But I do want to give proper shout-outs as we get through this. Huge shout-out to Miguel Dracugo from Chile for actually assisting in being able to help me get the Hasbro Beyblade X. They have a YouTube channel. Please make sure to subscribe to them, show them some love. They have their review up of the Hasbro Sword Drawn. And yeah, please support them. And as well, haha, Mollivays.com. We have Beyblade X products, Beyblade Burst products. It's an optional way to support the channel. I appreciate any support regardless. We are selling, obviously, the Japanese Bey products, but it does keep the channel alive. That being said, let us take a look at the new generation with Hasbro. So, very, very excited to get into this. One thing you want to see right off the bat, the box design is very interesting for how they did it for Hasbro, because if you look at both of these, the Hasbro one, they decided to basically invert it. So instead of like white and a black logo, it's a black space and a white logo. I definitely kind of like maybe like the Hasbro just in terms of inverting the colors on the thing. And I think the general presentation's okay. I do think they kind of fucked up a little bit of the text on it just generally. And the spacing's a little bit weird, but I kind of like the idea of it. I kind of like it. I think it's an interesting take, at least for it. With the new Beyblade X generation, how does it work? All these Beyblades go on the accelerator rail, and basically they go in fast, high-speed battles to clash with each other. Now, Sword Drawn is the blade. You have your blade. Now, blades are the main part of direct contact with the opponent and primarily have metal contact, which in this case, Sword Drawn. You then have to have your ratchet, which is 360. Now, ratchets determine the height of the Beyblade, and also the balance of the center of gravity, the impact position of the blade, and ratchets are basically what triggers part of the burst on the Beyblade X stuff. So for an example, the amount of sides are basically kind of like your hit points. So a certain amount of sides, maybe depending on the shape and whatever, could be easier or worse to burst depending on your combination, that type of stuff. Then after you have your bit, which is flat. So bits basically determine your type of Beyblade and also part of the resistance because of the shaft of the bits, which we're going to get into. But yeah, that basically also determines, you know, your extreme dash performance and all that stuff. It's really exciting. Now, that being said, I do want to open it how God intended for us to open this thing, and I want to do it actually how the box is designed. This is such a cool design for a box. I don't know who thought of this design of where you basically put your... Oh, it's literally like... Oh, you literally just like... Oh, I think you just... Oh, that makes more sense, just to do it like that with brute force. Well, you have your bait... So, this is obviously part of the instructions here. I'm going to basically just show how you do it and whatever, but... Is there anything else in particular to mention with this thing? Not really. Oh, okay. Let's actually just go over the stadium label. We don't have the stadium yet, but eventually. So the battle zone's the middle part. The extreme finish zone is basically that part highlighted. The knockout zone, so those two little pockets. They call it the accelerator rail. Why is it not spelled with an X? It's a little funny. Yeah, so basically Survivor is 1 point, Knockouts 2 points, Burst is 2 points, and Extreme Finish is 3 points. I'll go over it in the video, but alright, everybody's favorite section, the Durometer section. Why do we do this? If you recall in Pro Series with Hasbro, Pro Series was a lot of bullshit they basically did. Pro Series, they essentially, it was like the Japanese release, but they just basically used a lot more shittier materials. So almost every single release had shit quality control and wore a lot faster than the original release. I do want to see with X, you know, basically on plastic hardness, right, trying to see, at least get a good idea if the materials are more or less the same hardness. If it is, thumbs up, we're saved. If not, I will cry. First start off with the blade. So to do this properly, let's make sure for all of these, we're hitting all the exact same spot or more or less the same spot. Okay. Say about 62.5. This is just because my hand is slipping a bit. This is more or less close. Yep, there you go. Yep, there you go. 33.5, and there should be a little bit more anyways, because I have this one a little bit used. Yeah, this is, okay, the bits, you can literally just do in the dimple here. 43.5, we'll just say 43.5, 44. Maybe even slightly more, It depends how much my hand decides to move. But, with that being said, because I don't want to keep doing this for every single one of these, I probably will, but we're giving this a thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen, a thumbs up. No bullshit here, no bullshit here. It seems, after everyone complained that they were cheap with Pro Series, trying to, you know, give the fans dirty, it seems with X, more or less, it should be the exact same. I think even sometimes I saw value go like a little bit more. I have no worries with this generation for now, as far as I can tell. This is a big positive, because if you buy the Japanese products, you're still fine regardless. You get the releases ahead of time. You can enjoy all that stuff, compete, whatever. However, if you wanted to eventually get replacements, you could just eventually just wait for the Hasbro alternative. If you're already waiting for Hasbro regardless, then you don't really have anything to worry about. So you win regardless if you just get the Japanese products, which either way it makes sense, you'd still be doing that. Or if you want a replacements, or if you're just strictly Hasbro only, regardless, it's a win. It's a win either way. So we go over to our part by part. We have our blade, which is the sword drawn. Now it's funny because the Japanese names, it's the other way around, but Hasbro, or excuse me, 80K, I just decided to flip it, which is still really weird to me, but yeah, a few things to basically go over when you go the side-by-side with Takara Tomy. Essentially, what's really nice about this is whatever mold updates there are that TT does for releases, Hasbro basically, I guess, just have that already from the get-go. So for the example with Sword Drawn, it is using the reinforced mold of Drawn Sword that they had this eventual update for, just on the metal thing. That's nice to see, because before I didn't even know what the difference was, and now I'm seeing it closer, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then after, obviously, the reinforced tabs that they started with Unicorn Sting with on that release. If you notice on the original Takara Tomy, they essentially have squares for the tabs that hold the ratchet, but Unicorn Sting and now all future releases, like the Hasbro ones, they use that slope design. That's just to make sure in the future, when that eventually gets a little bit of stress, it doesn't break as easily. So it's very cool to see these mold updates present that I really want to educate the viewer with, so you kind of get an understanding. Alrighty, now kind of going over the description of Drawn Sword, or I have to say Sword Drawn now. Basically what you're going to get out of this is some smash attack and a little bit of upper attack. So what smash attack basically means is the ability to kind of push them and KO them just forward, and upper is basically when they launch them into the air, because it kind of does have a little bit of these curved blades. It can kind of do it. Now what you'll notice with Sword Drawn is basically it does have these kind of triangular kind of contact edges. Now these make it, like, mint condition, it's pretty good. However, obviously as you use blades over time, you know, it eventually wears down, and eventually Sword Drawn will become this point where it's still solid to use for attack and fine. The other options will become a little bit more consistent. It is a little bit top heavy, so what that means is in an attack versus an attack matchup, your stamina won't be crazy compared to, let's say, certain other future attackers that'll get released. I think for right now, considering this is wave 1, this is fine, but I do have testings on my competitive channel if you want to kind of see more in depth, or if you simply want to read over it, there is the database, and I'm just going to say that from the get-go for most of this stuff, but for right now, for wave 1, either way, the parts on it are pretty solid, because you do get, we have our ratchet, which is 360. So 360 is at the 60 height, and what's nice about this ratchet, it's solid for low height because it has 3 rounded points here. So it's not as easy to break to say, let's say something like 4 sides. This is a nice solid ratchet for low height, and yeah, use for whatever. I guess it's nice. It's thumbs up. Yeah. Okay, next up you get to your bit, which is flat. So if you're gonna notice, flat on the shaft of it here has a little thick part here, and what that basically means, so for how, I have to basically show how this works. So to assemble, first of all, you just get on there and twist, and you put the bits there. So for an X-Bay, to burst it, you have to twist this ratchet. Now, if you have a bit with strong resistance, like the flats here, it's gonna take a little bit more effort. Now, if I were to get a bit with, let's say, weaker resistance, for an example, like this ball bit from Arrow Wizard, it will take a little bit, it'll be easier to do, because obviously, if you compare the shafts here, this has more resistance than this. This does not mean that you can't use stuff with weaker resistance. It just means that there is the benefit here in this generation that they actually understood how to balance out the typings, unlike the burst generation. But let's get to basically the next part of this, which is kind of the elephant in the room. It's this launcher. So this is basically like your little entry launcher. This actually originated in the entry starter of Dran Sword in Japan. Now this launcher, it has pretty low... This launcher basically has the issue where the launcher count, basically meaning how many rotations does the launcher give, is super, super small. And because of that reason, other than the fact it's also pretty hard to grip generally, you should never use that launcher, even casually in that sense. It's just not worth it. You'll just get the worst experience out of X. I highly recommend you either get a string launcher from Beyblade X or you get a winder launcher. Both offer a better experience. Alright, now with your scale here, we have my TT one right here. I want to see what variation I get. These should be more or less pretty much the same. 34.59. Do I get lucky? Do I get a heavy one with sword drawn? Okay, I get close enough to 35. So there is technically the 35 if you get that. That's like a nice one to get. So whatever, it's the variation. That's fine. Okay, whatever. I'll take what I can get. TT 360 about 6.38. Yeah, just a small difference on the thing. I don't think that's gonna do much of a difference. The flat bit of TT, and then after Hasbro, yeah, more or less the same. Okay, let's assemble this. Oh, also, let me make sure I'm aligning this properly, just because I like to keep it kind of on the Dran Sword, kind of closer to that. All right, TT is about 43.19. Yeah. Alrighty, and now taking a look out of the package. It feels good to be in a generation where Hasbro did not fuck up at the start. Here's to hoping they keep it consistent, fingers crossed. Very, very happy to see a generation properly done at the start at least, because Burst was crazy how they did terrible at the start, but to see like a nice fresh generation, it's a very positive and exciting thing. So we do reach a little bit of a dilemma in this video. I don't actually have either of the Hasbro stadiums, so for these reviews until I eventually get them, we're going to basically be using the TT stadium, and for the fun of it, I'll use the shitty launcher that they give you just to see what happens. Alrighty, we're going to do a quick overview of the stadium here. So obviously this little red thing, what do we call this? The accelerator rails, because they accelerate through there to create a lot of speed and momentum and do the clashing. You have your over zone pockets right here. This is worth 2 points if you get them to land and stay in there. Same with the other one there. And then after this is your extreme finish zone, which is worth 3 points. This is the Karatomi Stadium, not the Hasbro one, so keep that in mind, because obviously I don't have the Hasbro one right now, but we're going to be using obviously what makes the most amount of sense. And yeah, spin finish is 1 point, burst is 2 points. Spin is basically if you get outspun, and then after burst is, well, we're going to find out. So I'm joined here by my mother. So you get the luxury of getting to use the fancy launcher, because I have to use the shitty one that it came with, which is whatever, just to see if I can even win. So this is really hard to grip for me, but I'll try. Let's see how long it takes for me to quit. Let me first do a test launch. 3, 2, 1, rip. Oh god, this is so hard to hold. You want to try to launch with this. Try to launch with this. This was like the entry Dran Sword, or no, I have to say Sword Drawn now, because that's the official name for the Hasbro version. 3, 2, 1, let it rip. That's not. I want to use the bigger launcher. I hate this launcher. Okay. Anyways, oh, the name of this.
Incendio, pero no incendio. Yeah.
Incendio.
Incendio.
Am I saying it wrong? Incendio.
Very good.
It's just dio at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Incendio.
Okay, so for this one, this is the TT one, but I'll say the Hasbro name. No, actually, I'm gonna say Hell Scythe. That's the actual name of the thing. I'm not gonna. If it's the Hasbro one, I'll say the Hasbro name is Scythe Incendio. 3, 2, 1, let it rip. Okay, we'll go first to 4 for each of these. Oh gosh. No. Do you think I'll win any of these?
Yeah.
I can barely hold on to this launcher, let alone.
I can use
No, it's okay, it's okay. Okay, first point was a survivor finish. Rip. I can win.
Not with me.
I launch you up in the air, nice. Hey.
You can win, but not with me.
Okay, I really don't like this.
Excuses.
Okay, I have good news for the following round, everybody. I'll have to maybe do it for older reviews, but
Look at you.
this launcher sucks ass. I'm not using it.
Yeah,
We'll be using this winder launcher, which I think technically Hasbro has this one sold separately as some whatever release, whatever, but I prefer to use this, so we're gonna see the difference now. To deliver it. Okay, and I've already lost by an extreme finish. An extreme, God. Oh God. To deliver it. I shouldn't have picked up too early, but that was what we like to call an over finish. Wait, let me actually. Okay, the first one. Okay, so oh, they're all the same. Oh no, well, it's called knockout. That's so. 3, 2, 1, deliver it. They call it the knockout zone? Whatever. Okay, I guess the knockout zone. So you got the extreme, so that's 3. Knockout zone, because you self-KO'd, so that's 2. So it's 3. Okay, so you just want a full set.
Very good.
Okay, well, we're gonna get to the other ones, I guess. Okay, now we got, I think this one's localized name is, what is this, Helm Knight? Defense type. 3 to deliver it. How do we do? Wait, look at the defense, look at the defense. Show him, show him. We're slowing down quite a bit. I think I'll be winning the rest of these. I don't think
I don't know. Maybe it's just...
I have to get used to the names, so.
I don't know.
Okay, so you just won by a survivor with a rip. Burst! A rip. Hey, launch up and hey! Yo!
Second set goes to you.
The localized name of this is Arrow Wizard or Wizard Arrow because I'm using the Japanese one. Okay, let's see how I do. This is a stamina type one. Deliver it. Already, come on.
Let's go.
Deliver it. Something extraordinary. My victory. Look at this. Look at this.
Oh,
Deliver it. It's my payback. You will not beat me from this point on.
Yeah.
Hey, never mind. Hey, I tilted too hard. I tilted too hard.
Too bad.
Too bad. Well, it feels so nostalgic because it's almost like a year's difference from when these originally released, just to now get the localized version. This is fun. Survivor Finish 01. Alrighty, the Unseen X Extreme Dash. Hit it. No, hit it now. No, I can. I will get an extreme dash on that. No, mark my. No. Mark my words. You're not. So this is your second survivor. All right. I have to master the extreme dash ability. That's okay. It's 0-2, but I'm gonna hit it. You know, blink and you'll miss it.
Yeah.
To deliver it, please. Okay. Extreme dash. Okay, wait.
Ah!
We gotta say go. Okay, go. Okay, that's a nice one. I like this sound. Alrighty, final thought. This box is really beat up. Final thoughts. This launcher sucks. Don't use it ever, please. Don't. So what's good about Sword Drawn? The flat bit is a solid attack bit. You know, generally I would say 360 solid low height for stuff. And the blade of Sword Drawn, I would say, is pretty decent for attack. I have to see what other stuff releases in this wave, so maybe I'll do a full recap for wave 1 and then after kind of maybe try to do meta tiers between that maybe, but for now I think this is a solid pickup just because, you know, decent attack blade, solid attack bit, and thumbs up all around. This is a very nice start to the generation. The material durability is more or less the same based on the Durometer testings. They seem to be using the updated molds from the Karatomi, so that means you don't have to worry about any shenanigans, and yeah, this is a nice start to the generation. If when we do future reviews, there's something I like or I don't like, obviously you're here to see the honest opinion. I pride this channel on a no bullshit policy, so if it's good, you'll hear me say, I think this is good. If it's bad, I'll tell you it's bad. I'm not into this sort of, this marketing bullshit, whatever, where I pander to the company, whatever, or pander to the positive opinion if it isn't actually the truth or whatever. If it's true, it's true. If it's not, it's not, because you cannot hide the truth. You can attempt to, but eventually it comes out. But yeah, I think we already showed the QR code for this. I don't think this matters for right now. Whenever the app updates, I guess if you give a shit about the app, yeah, there you go. Very, very interesting to see how this gen's gonna go. Very interesting. As we end off, yeah, just comment your thoughts. I think this is really like a positive thing. I think we gotta give, even though this should be the standard for Hasbro, we gotta still give like the respect in regards to the fact, for at least the launch so far, we'll see eventually, that it's good, because I feel like Burst was handled so bad by them. So to see something where it's like what we should have gotten from the get-go, it's like a nice feeling, right? That being said, I'll eventually get to the other reviews as we go through it, and hoping to eventually get the stadium, see all that stuff. So if you want to see more videos of general competitive testing and that type of stuff, there is my competitive channel, which I either show a visual, or if the end screen's already popping up, then I'll just leave a link in the description below. If you want to see the database where you can find all the updates information on each of these releases, I'll leave a link in the description below for that. I'll eventually be updating the database to have the Hasbro sections, even though these are technically the exact same. I figured just to do that. And thank you for watching. If you are new here, subscribe and comment your thoughts. And that being said, Hasbro, I have faith in you, all right? Don't mess it up, Hasbro. Don't mess it up. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day and bye.